So I'm here with Samantha Herberman from Renault Chappelle, behavioral analyst or therapist, both work, and she is going to talk to us today about setting your kids up for success, which is a concept that has completely blown my mind because it's just, I've never thought about it in that way before. And what does it mean to set your kids up for success? Why don't you, maybe you should tell us a little bit.
I think it means a couple different things depending on the way that you look at it. So when we spoke about it a little bit earlier, I talked about not just setting your children up for success, but also setting yourself up for success. Setting your child up for success means making it more likely they will do what you need them to do in that moment that is socially appropriate.
Okay.
Setting the adult up for success is let's reduce some of that frustration around you having to repeat yourself so many times and your child's just not responding.
Yeah, I think that we don't think about it enough. We're yelling and we're screaming, put your shoes on, we gotta go, we're late, let's go to school. Like all of these things that we're trying to get our kids to do, but we're not even thinking. So I think it's an amazing concept that all parents should internalize now.
That's 100% it. So a couple different things that you can do. The first is think about, and let's use eye contact as a good example because it's pretty easy to understand. When you're calling your child's name and right beside your child, are you on a different floor? Are you 10 feet away? Are you right in front of them? That's the first piece. Second piece is what are they doing? So are they playing with their iPad?
You can call until you're blue in the face and nobody will.
If I call you while Dancing with the Stars is on, it might be really, really hard, and that's okay. So understand that about your child too. They're going through the same thing. This is really engaging. What you're going to ask me to do is probably not so great. Is it worth it for me to look? The answer is probably not from their perspective.
So what do we do? Let's say my kid is watching the iPad or watching it's probably not Dancing with the Stars. I don't know, Paw Patrol. They're watching Paw Patrol and I'm calling them to come sit down for dinner. Am I setting myself up for success if I'm screaming at them from across the room?
You 100% are not.
No.
So a couple things you can do first. First is consider using countdowns. So I'm a really big fan of countdowns to indicate that an activity that is highly preferred is about to end. So really simple, looks like this. Hey, George, TV is almost done. We're about to turn it off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the amazing thing is when you turn it off, when you say it's 1, you actually turn it off. So whining does not turn it back on. Screaming does not turn it back on. Tantrums do not turn it back on. The other big thing is when you actually do turn it off and your child is able to come and do what you've asked them to do without any challenging behavior, it should be a great big party.
Right.
Whoa, I love that you came to the table so nicely. That's so amazing. You're a rock star today.
Right.
So really recognizing it and telling your child, you're doing a good job.
Right.
You've done exactly what I asked you to do. So that's a big one.
Right, so but what about like pausing the TV, for example?
That's 100% a great idea. And again, along the same lines, consider stopping or temporarily pausing whatever the activity is, getting their message across, having the child indicate that they've heard you.
Right.
Yes, I understand.
Right.
It's really, really important.
Right.
Some variation.
Yeah.
And then moving on with our lives.
What is it? It doesn't have to be TV. It could be playing with the
trains.
trucks or
Doesn't matter.
trains or whatever it is.
It's my train for 2 seconds while I tell you what's going on, and then you can have the train back and continue on with what you were doing.
When you've heard me and acknowledged that.
Exactly.
Right. So that's setting yourself up for success.
100%.
People should go home with a behavioral therapist because the kid doesn't come with a handbook. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to say. Right? And as they get older, every stage brings on a new challenge.